Don't fall for the meme. What exactly do I mean by that? In the automotive world, there's a lot of misinformation and self-perpetuated garbage that's basically evolved to the point of being mimetic. But hey, you know, if somebody on the internet says it, it's gotta be true, right? Mr. Angry, you're someone on the internet. Why should I listen to what you have to say? That's a fair point, and well made. Either way, here's a bunch of automotive memes that you shouldn't fall for. Just don't do it. Don't fall for the meme. The Mazda MX-5 Miata is a meme. And for the love of God, do not fall for the Miata meme. 5 to 10 years ago was the sweet time to buy a Mazda Miata. They were cheap, they were abundant, nobody wanted them. Then one day, all at about the same time, people started talking about it on the internet. Certain automotive reviewers and certain web pages started to mutate this once ignored and often insulted car into a meme. Suddenly, everyone had to have one. You used to be able to find a nice clean example of the Miata for $3,000 or less. And you know what? For a car that is as enjoyable to drive as a Miata, that's totally worth it. Nowadays, $3,000 barely gets you a ragged out, super high miles salvage title piece of fucking dog shit Miata. And if you're one of the fucking dumb shits who pays for that, you deserve it. Idiots who buy overpriced junker Miatas are everything that's wrong with the Miata today. Even I fell for the Miata meme when it was at its peak, because when you rip a car a new asshole like I did in my first video, you kinda have to go do some research to figure out what you're on about before you start ranting about it. And yet I know it. There's one of you out there right now in front of your computer or on your couch. Maybe you're on your phone at work watching this video, and you're gonna go pay too much money for a Miata that's not worth it because you fell for the Miata meme. Hey, if you can find a good one for cheap, go buy it. If that's your thing, do it. If you can find a good deal that has reasonable miles, isn't ragged out, maybe even has a hard top, for a fair price, then more power to you. Go buy it, because you found the unicorn, the one that's exempt from the meme tax. For everyone else, don't even waste your time. There's a lot of fun cars out there that you can have for a much better price and get a lot more out of. Don't fall for the fucking Miata meme. Just don't do it. Don't fall for the winter tires are a meme. I know spring's rolling around, and for a lot of us, it's getting hot where we live. Hell, down here in the Angry Lands, it's fucking 70 degrees right now, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. That's ridiculous. But having spent my winter in the land of the ice and snow, I'll tell you this. Winter tires are not a meme. Look, the Subaru WRX has all-wheel drive, and I thought that I would be just fine and dandy, cruising along in my summer tires through snow and ice and hell freezing over. I mean, come on, I got all-wheel drive. I got this, right? What's the worst that can happen? Well, I fucking found out. I learned the hard way one day that summer tires are not designed for winter or even basic levels of cold. It's just not how they work. Look, even all-season tires are not necessarily designed to work well in cold weather or ice and snow. Here's the thing, different types of tires are made of different rubber compounds, and depending on what type of tire you've got, some work better when it's hot or cold outside. As a rule, tires tend to do better when they're warmed up. They just get softer that way and they can grip the road a lot better. My summer tires were completely useless when it dropped below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. They just couldn't warm up to their required operating temperature, and thusly they didn't develop any grip. So it was really dangerous to drive even when it wasn't snowy and icy outside. I had one bad day that wasn't even in the ice or the snow, and after that day, I bought winter tires. And again, let me tell you, they're not a meme. Winter tires are incredible in the cold, on any car. All-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. Hell, you can drive a Miata through a pretty decent amount of snow if you equip it with the proper tires. And look, not only did putting winter tires on my car make it drivable in the cold, it made it a freaking blast. Winter tires don't make you invincible in the snow, but what they do offer is control and confidence. It's not something you get a whole lot of when it starts to get nasty outside, especially in the winter time. I don't care what car you drive, what tires you have on right now, if you live somewhere where it snows and you still don't think that you need winter tires, give them a go. Buy the cheapest set that you can get. Put them on crappy steel rims. Or hell, just go test drive a friend's car that has winter tires on it. And then go drive yours that has all seasons or summer tires on it again. You'll notice the difference right away. Winter tires are not a meme. So don't fall for the meme that says you don't need winter tires. Take a second and go watch some winter driving fail compilations and watch what some of these bozos do. I guarantee you 90% of them are driving on all season or summer tires in the middle of fucking winter. Look, it is possible to make it through a winter on the wrong kind of tires, but most people don't want to believe that they have to change their driving style to suit the weather. Most people think they're the goddamn Stig and they can drive however they want because they're invincible. Bad things don't happen to me. Yep, there's one of you saying that right now, and I guarantee next winter there's going to be at least one of you on one of those fail compilations. Guarantee it. If you do get featured on one of those fail compilations, by the way, send me the link. I gotta see it. That shit's funny. On that note, don't fall for the all-season tires meme. Look, all-season tires totally have their place. If you live somewhere where it doesn't get super hot, but it also doesn't get super cold, and you just don't care if the tire performs well, then go for it. All-season tires are excellent if you just don't care. But if you live somewhere where it snows or gets cold, and you honestly believe that all-season tires are awesome in all seasons, I got some bad news for you. Another thing, if you have a reasonably high-performance car and you only run all-season tires on it, what's the point? There's a lot of really, really cool cars that really come to life when you put the right tires on them, and yet I see it all the time. Corvettes shod in the crappiest Walmart tier all-season tires that person could afford. It's just sad. It's like walking around with eggs on your shoes all day. Yeah, you can do it. You can get by just fine with them, but why the fuck would you want to do that? Look, you get all-season tires thinking they're the best of both worlds, when really, it's the worst of all worlds. Don't think of it as all-season tires can do all seasons, because really it's more like all-season tires can't do winter or summer that good. All-season tires are a fucking meme, and you can take that to the bank. Look at how many people honestly believe that all-season tires are gonna do them just fine when it gets minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit out and there's a fucking foot of snow in their way. These people fell for the meme. These are the same people who you're gonna see in their all-wheel drive crossovers spinning out and skidding into ditches because they bought into the meme. Don't fall for the all-wheel drive meme. You see it all the time when it starts to rain and snow outside. People hanging around saying, "Oh, I've got all-wheel drive, I'll be fine." Guess what? All-wheel drive's not fucking magic, you dumb shits. But wait, Mr. Angry, isn't that Subaru all-wheel drive? Aren't you a bit biased? Yes, the Subaru WRX is all-wheel drive, but let me tell you, I'm not particularly biased towards it or against it. Look, all-wheel drive's cool on paper, but do you really need it? Just because you live somewhere where it rains and snows and gets cold and icy all the time, that doesn't mean you need all-wheel drive. Let's get one thing out of the way really quick. Tire selection and your skill as a driver go a lot further than any all-wheel drive system will ever go. All-wheel drive doesn't magically make grip come out of thin air and save your ass when you go skidding off into a snowbank. And it certainly doesn't magically transform you into the Stig either. So ask yourself this. Am I going to drive like a fucking lunatic when it snows outside? Am I going to run shitty, cheap Chinese knockoff tires when the going gets rough? If you answer yes to either of those questions, don't even waste your fucking money on all-wheel drive, because it's not going to save you. If anything, it's going to make you drive like an even worse idiot than before. All-wheel drive inspires some pretty stupid confidence in people who otherwise have no idea how to drive in the first place. Look, here's the thing about all-wheel drive. The laws of physics still apply to you no matter what drivetrain layout you use. If you go cruising down a rainy road at 90 miles an hour, you're gonna hydroplane. I don't care what car you're driving. All-wheel drive is a fucking meme. On top of all of this, there's a lot of different all-wheel drive systems out there today, and most of them are fucking garbage. A lot of all-wheel drive systems are based on transverse front-wheel drive cars. That means that the power is biased towards the front wheels. Now, that's not really a problem, except that when it comes time to give some power to those back wheels, it kinda sucks. Most all-wheel drive systems don't even engage until it detects the car starting to slip. And by the time your car starts to slip, it's probably already over. You're probably already screwed. These all-wheel drive systems can't see the road in front of you. It can't see that patch of snow or that pile of leaves that you're about to run over. All it knows is, oh shit, we're slipping. And then it reacts to what it thinks is happening around it. If you have one of these Haldex front-wheel drive based all-wheel drive systems, I don't know how much good it's gonna do you. There's only so much power that it can send to the back wheels. If you just happen to need more power back there than your car has to give, you're shit out of luck. I'm not denouncing all-wheel drive because it has its purpose. Just for most people, it doesn't. It doesn't have a purpose. Even for me driving a somewhat sporty all-wheel drive car, most of the time, the all-wheel drive really isn't doing much. Look, at the end of the day, all-wheel drive is a meme. Don't fall for it. You know, it's the year of our Lord 2017, and I still see a lot of this crap on the internet. Automatic versus manual transmission. Ugh, great. What's worse, I still hear a lot about it in real life. Talking to real life people who think they like cars, who claim to be automotive enthusiasts. You know what real automotive enthusiasts don't do? They don't care whether you drive automatic or manual. You can spot a bench racer from miles away if they give you crap because you have an automatic Corvette.
Oh, don't you know? Manual's the only way to drive a Miata.
Yeah, that might be steeped in just a little bit of truth, but who fucking cares? You drive what you like and don't let anyone else give you shit about it. I've talked about this before in another video. Automatic and manual transmissions are getting so advanced these days, it just doesn't matter what you drive. Yeah, there are some cars that kind of just seem made to be manual, and there are some cars that just kind of seem to be made for automatics. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Just drive what you like. Drive what you can drive, and if you want to learn how to drive manual, more power to you. Go do it. I've owned my share of both automatic and manual cars, and it's just never mattered to me. I don't strictly prefer one over the other. I just like them both because they both have their place. All you bench racing high school kids out there who don't even have your driver's license yet, who hoon about in your mom's $3,000 Honda Accord automatic, and then go talk shit about how manual is the only way to drive, leave. Maybe someday you'll grow up and realize that it doesn't matter. The rest of us who don't care are just gonna be out enjoying driving, being automotive enthusiasts, reasonable people, because we get it and we don't care. We just want to have fun and drive and be with our friends who like cars. We don't want to talk shit and bench race. We want to go out and just drive, because that's half the fun of being an enthusiast, is taking your car and driving it for fun no matter what it is, no matter what transmission it has. For the love of God and all that is holy, don't fall for the automatic versus manual meme. It's completely stupid, completely juvenile. Don't fall for the meme.